What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pete's Basement Show. It's been 2 weeks since last we've seen you, and in that amount of time, you might notice something a little weird before we even get to the comic books, and that is Pete and myself are wearing fucking LA Kings championship shirts. This is a bet is a bet, and we made a bet with our good friend Eddie D'Angelini out in California, who is a huge Kings fan. He is also the artist and author of the Collector's comic strip that he does, basically the misadventures of him and his lovely wife Kristen, and basically what it's like to be married to a comic book nerd.
It's awesome.
I share this stuff on the Pete's Basement Facebook all the time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But Eddie's also a really huge hockey fan to the point of crazy. And
like
we
myself.
made a bet. Well, this fuck got me involved in it, and I just chimed right in. I was like, I don't care.
Well, yeah, we had to make it somewhat comic.
If the Rangers were to win, me and Pete would have gotten drawn into the Collector's comic strip. And if the Rangers lost, me and Pete had to go and buy Kings championship shirts. So, I'm a man of my word. A bet is a bet. Congratulations, Eddie. Nicely done to your Kings.
Respect.
Granted, we knew we'd be playing the Kings. We didn't know we'd be playing the refs, too.
Yeah. All right. And that's all we'll say on that subject, because
I'll throw it was a fucking seriously crazy, awesome Stanley Cup. The games went to overtime all the time. They were all nail biters.
Yep.
Realistically, both teams played great. You guys played better.
The results of the actual results of the games don't reflect how those games were played. The games were fucking epic. Both teams belong there. You know, the better team won. That's
Live it up, Eddie. We'll see you next year.
Damn right.
And lots of luck with Collectors Volume 2, guys. I chimed in on the Kickstarter campaign. You guys should too, and look out for that when it comes up on the website, collectors.com. So we got some books to review. We got some contests to finish. We got some shout-outs to make. Real quick, now we got 2 weeks worth, so here's what we're going to do. We got The Empty Man, #1 from Boom. We got The Blood Queen, #1 from Dynamite. We got Revenge 4, that concluded. Wildfire, #1, all from 2 weeks ago. This week, we're going to talk about Original Sin 4, Original Sins from last week. We're going to briefly touch on that, and Nova 18.
Very briefly.
We're going to talk about the conclusion of The Lone Ranger with 25 from Dynamite. Edward Gray, Witchfinder, Tales of Unland. Long-ass title, cool-ass book. Eye of Newt, #1. And Book of the Week, Thomas Alsop, #1. From Boom Studios. From artwork by Palle Schmidt. I hope I'm saying that right. Palle Schmidt and Chris Miskowitz. I'm usually pretty good with them Polish names. Our buddy Chris here is from Greenpoint, right? Homegrown dude. Yes. And this book is heavily featured in Greenpoint. Basically, this guy, Thomas Alsop, who is Thomas Alsop, is the opening line in the book. And they basically introduce the dude here. You'll like this. Just sitting there with his fucking guitar and all tatted up and shit. And buck-ass naked.
Buck-ass naked.
Crazy drunk and stoned.
Yep. So he basically thinks he's Scott Weiland.
He is what they call the Hand of the Island.
Which is an awesome title.
Yeah. And this goes back to his great-great-something-great-grandfather, who was given the title and the power by this Native American shaman to protect Manhattan Island from all sorts of spooks and crazies, ghosts, goblins, and all kinds of horrendous devilry.
Yes.
And this power has been passed on from generation to generation, and now it's his. And in the midst of all of this, they're flashing back to the early 1700s, and then they're, coming back forward, and there's this boat, this ship that's coming over to the New World that is bringing some horrible thing with it. We don't really know what. There seem to be some zombie dudes in the hull.
It's so horrible that the boat itself is cursed.
Is now cursed.
Right.
Yeah.
So they sink the boat.
Yes.
And now, at the site of Ground Zero, pieces of this boat are being found in the modern age. And Thomas Alsop knows that, some shit is up.
Yeah.
And this is, this is going to be bad.
It's like,
he obviously
shit just got serious.
He either can sense it, or he knows because his grandfather, or, whatever, his great-great-grandfather. The island speaks to him, right?
Yes, and that's awesome.
The island speaks to him. So, Manhattan basically said, you better get down here. We got some shit.
And he's just, right over the bridge in Greenpoint, comes, flies right over to Willie B. This is an awesome book. I didn't, I picked stuff up just to get what's number ones, and we got a review for you guys.
But the title kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
Like, Thomas Alsop.
It's a very unassuming title. Like, what's going on?
Okay, I'll pick it up, and then whoa.
We're all asking, who is Thomas Alsop?
Right.
And you're kind of getting, like, in the first couple of pages, I'm like, who is this asshole? He's like some drunk rock star. Like, where is this book going?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when you get into the proverbial meat and potatoes of it, you're like, whoa, this is pretty badass.
It is.
Yep.
It's book 1 of 8. I highly, highly recommend you guys check this out. I had way more fun than should be allowed.
Yeah.
I like this book so much, I even went and read the author's letter in the back that boom when some of these other smaller companies tend to do with when they introduce like a kind of, this is my character, they let me publish it, here you go. And they only mentioned Greenpoint once in the book. So it was through reading the author's letter that I found out Chris was actually from the neighborhood, and he's talking about breaking into Calvary Cemetery when he's a kid. And I mean, who amongst us didn't do that shit? And going on all of these well. You were a lot less of a troublemaker, though. I mean,
I'm a Long Island boy, so I don't count. So.
Nah, that's all right. But I mean, I got a lot of family buried in Calvary, and if you go over the Greenpoint Avenue Bridge, there's like no fencing right around. You can climb that cobblestone wall, and there's 4 sections to Calvary if you can manage to get to them all. And it's one of the crazy oldest cemeteries around. It gets real fucking creepy at night. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Never fucked in a cemetery though. It was a little upsetting.
You're still young.
That's true. But now it's very arrestable. Like, shit ain't like it was.
Do I want to ask the obvious question?
No.
What?
With that?
Ask away.
Living or dead?
Seriously, guys, check out Thomas Alsop. It's an awesome book from Boom Studios. And hopefully, we can get to talking to Chris at some point. And
let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta, solidarity for the homegrown dudes.
For the homeland.
Yep. Now, we got some contests to give away. 2 weeks ago, we promised you guys copies of Normandy, the graphic history of D-Day and bombing Nazi Germany from Zenith Press. All you had to do was answer the question. Now, General Eisenhower was the supreme commander of the Normandy invasion plan. Who did he appoint as the official ground commander? And David Keel and Paul Miller, you guys were not the ground commanders at Normandy. You guys were actually the winners of the contest. With the correct answer to the question was British General Sir Bernard Montgomery was the ground commander of the Normandy invasion.
Okay.
You guys send us your addresses and we will get your books off to you. Please allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. This is just really enough time for me to get my lazy ass to the post office. It's not actually going to take, once I get them in the mail, it's going to take like a week or 2.
Congratulations. Job well done.
Indeed.
And thanks for watching, guys, always. Guys, if you ever want to hit us up, questions@peachbasement.com, facebook.com/peachbasement. You can check us out on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Instagram @peachbasement. You can also follow me personally. It's Pete from Pete's Basement. And speaking of Instagram, I want to give a big shout out to Conman's Comics. That's Conmans_comics. He does this really cool thing where, like, when he gets new comics and stuff, whether they be older stuff or new stuff, he uses other comics as his background and then places the one focus comic on top of like the other 4 or 6.
Well,
and
cool.
I adopted that. I started using it, and he made a comment on it. And bro, I swear I was gonna tag you in the Instagram post, and then I just fucking spazzed and forgot. So here's your shout out, and thanks for that great idea, guys. The easiest way to get me to follow you on Instagram, whether it be from Pete's Basement or whether it be myself personally, is take pictures of comic books or big tits. Big natural tits will do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or fucking old school comics.
That pretty much goes for everybody on the crew too.
Yeah,
I'm sure, right?
More titties than
right?
comics for me, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We have a question that we got a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who asked us that
Here
one?
we go.
All right.
It's a fun question. It's an easy question, though.
Dejon Veni wants to know, is Galactus made of metal? And if he is, can Magneto crush him? And if Galactus isn't, can Magneto beat him anyways?
My guess is Galactus is in fact made of metal. So is his ship. And if Magneto could even get near him to do it, then maybe he might stand a chance of even moving Galactus a quarter of an inch.
my answer is no.
No, there's no way.
There's no way. I mean,
once Galactus is so powerful that it would kind of be like, you know, a roach trying to body slam you. And it said, like, you see the motherfucker and you just step on him.
Right.
That's it. Because once Galactus is not even going to know he's there. For all of his intense power that Magneto has with, you know, being able at one point to tilt the Earth off of its axis, Galactus can eat the Earth and a lot of other things in the cosmos.
Well, I don't think his costume is made out of metal. He's a massive amount of energy, so it's just he manipulates it.
But the fact is, once Galactus actually gives enough of a shit to pay you mind, which is maybe when you throw his ship at his face.
Yeah, stop him from eating.
Now he's going to be mad, and then he's just going to blink you out of existence.
And in order for Magneto to be able to throw Galactus' ship in his face, the amount of power that he would have to expend would probably destroy Earth anyway.
Yeah.
And would leave him with no home to return to.
Yeah.
Galactus just and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Got another one?
Sure.
All right.
Let's go with the Infinity Gauntlet 84. How powerful is Thanos really?
Without the gauntlet.
Without the gauntlet.
He's on par with Silver Surfer.
Without the gauntlet?
Without the gauntlet, easily.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I was going to put him somewhere between like Thor and Odin, you know?
He's not as powerful as the Silver Surfer, but they've gone toe to toe with before, and it's been a pretty
not
even
Odin.
fight.
I think he'd get his ass kicked by Odin still.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Odin's right there next to Galactus, actually.
Yeah.
But Thanos is always changing. That's his thing. He always improves himself, and he's also his biggest weapon is his mind.
Right.
So he'll gladly surround himself with crazy weaponry.
Yeah.
Cube, Gauntlet being the biggest ones, but also crazy starships.
Hooking up with Death.
He hooks up with Death. You saw the team he had in the last event, which were awesome. Great characters he introduced.
Nice one.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, he's pretty badass.
Let's conclude this with our buddy Jarhead got a great question in on us.
Oh, yes, Jarhead. All right, recently picked up and read Spider-Man Family Ties, definitely recommend it. And it quickly gained a place in my all-time favorite Spider-Man stories. My question is, what's your favorite history-impacting story for either Spider-Man or even any of the other Marvel heroes? And or what's you guys' thoughts on the possible company-wide Marvel Comics reboots?
First of all, if that shit ever happens, I would burn down Marvel fucking Comics in the city. They've been talking about a company-wide reboot for a long time. It didn't work when they tried to do the shit with the Ultimate Universe, which was probably like a test run.
Yeah,
Look how well that fucking turned out. Look how well it turned out for DC. I'm pretty sure... You know, I don't like to give Joey Q too much credit, but I'm pretty sure he sees what's going on over at DC, and he's like, nah, fuck that idea.
Right.
That's stupid.
Oh, okay, wait. Ultimate Universe was fine up until the point that they went crazy.
Then it wasn't fine anymore.
They went crazy killing too much.
So how the fuck do you... You've got all of these cockamamie new artists coming out.
There's a reboot that is going too far.
Look at all of the bullshit that they've come out with trying to redo Spider-Man's origin. Let's just leave it at that. Did you read that fucking travesty that was Giant-Size Spider-Man #1 that came out like, what, 2-3 weeks ago? Where they had all of these different aspects of the fucking death of Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
No, read it.
No.
Read it. No. I want you to get eye AIDS. No. You will have eye AIDS.
Oh my God.
And he's not talking visual AIDS. He's talking eye AIDS.
Oh,
it is so fucking bad. You've got Uncle Ben walking him to school, calling him Petey, sticking up for him in a fight with Flash Thompson, getting Flash in trouble, and this and that, and there's too much interaction. They're trying to throw too much of a spin on the classics, and you know how I resist change. I will fuck motherfuckers up if they try to change the core shit. This stuff is older than you, me, Joey Q, any of these other fucking writers out there, and it demands respect.
Once they touched Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, who are older than,
unfortunately,
most Marvel characters.
Well, Dan Didio's got fucking rocks in his head.
He does.
And that's the cleanest I could possibly say that.
And I mean, I don't think DC's that bad.
It's pretty fucking bad, bro. Nobody knows their ass from their elbow. Nobody has any fucking concept of continuity.
Yes, I agree.
And that's the fucking core of this.
Continuity's out the window.
Stan Lee is busy when he's not signing his name to every goddamn book on earth. Somebody had him sign a sex book. I swear to Christ, my buddy sent me a...
fucking kidding me?
That's another story altogether.
When was the
man
last
will
time
put his name on anything.
Continuity was good?
The fact, when fucking in the 90s. At least everybody knew where everybody was until Onslaught fucking killed everybody.
When was the Clone Saga?
It's still fucking continuity. It may have sucked balls, but it fucking happened and everybody knew it happened.
Okay.
And it didn't fuck with the origin either.
Stan Lee is busy digging a grave just so he can spin in it later on.
Yeah, I tried to defend it, but...
Now, we've digressed. Let's go back to the whole, what were the best, series-changing kind of stories. I don't know about, like, series-changing. I might have to work on that.
Yeah, that's a working question, because...
But, I could tell you some of my favorites offhand. Avengers, the Ultron shit. Ultron Unlimited was a great book, great set of books. You can get it in a graphic novel form like I did, which features one of the best Thor moments ever.
Okay.
Basically, like, the Ultron just fucks up the Avengers, destroys them all, and then, they got to regroup, reassemble, and they're coming after Ultron, who's kind of taking over the mansion, and you see Thor just bust down the wall, and they're all standing there, they're all beaten, bloody, and everything, and he's like, Ultron, we would have words with thee. Nice and calm, totally like, I'm not going to really fuck your ass up, we're just going to talk about this, but no, I'm going to clobber you with my hammer.
I would say, off the top of my head, I would say X-Men #1. Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how hard that is to get in graphic novel? I think I mentioned it like a couple of weeks ago. I was looking for, going over some stuff for my buddy John Yang at work, and he was looking to get his kids into, X-Men. They actually wanted to read more of the books, having seen the movie and everything. And that was, it's not Visionaries. Oh, fuck, I can't think of the goddamn name of it. Mutant Genesis, I think.
I think so.
Whatever it is, but the original graphic novel is actually worth more than the fucking regular books because it was like a low print run or some shit.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you got to get the hardcover, and it's the only way to get the collected editions, unless you go back and you just buy the single issues. Right. But yeah, the Chris Claremont Jim Lee run was absolutely epic.
Yeah.
Anything McFarlane Spider-Man was game changing.
Well, even before
was Venom.
Yeah, I mean, even before, like, when they actually did X-Men 1, the issues on Uncanny leading up to it.
Yes, they were fucking
great
awesome.
Because
that's the Bishop shit and everything.
Right, the Bishop shit and then everything else. And, whatchamacallit, Professor Xavier loses the use of his legs again. And but they managed to bring everybody back together and, like, well...
It was a handball accident gone awry, in case you guys were curious.
Wow, that takes on a pretty weird connotation. And, then it's like, well, we've got too many X-Men, so what do we do now? And then, bang, X-Men #1 comes out. Blue Team, Gold Team, fucking awesome.
It was.
You want to talk game change? I mean, JLA Avengers was fucking awesome. That crossover.
Yep.
You just get to be able to see the teams interact properly. Written and drawn by the guys who did both fucking teams. So if anybody was, deserving to write and draw that, it was George Perez and Kurt Busiek.
Absolutely.
The fight between Captain America and Batman, seeing Superman having Cap's shield and Thor's hammer.
That was sexy.
It was fucking awesome. It's one of the greatest splash pages of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Like I said, as far as like really character impacting ones, maybe Back in Black was another good one. But we'd have to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
For now, guys, make sure we got a lot of other books to read as well. So make sure you tune into Pete's Basement Extras on YouTube. Me and Rich just did a review of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Make sure you go catch that. We're going to review a bunch more books from the last 2 weeks on the Pete's Basement Extras channel. Also, my good buddy Rodimus Torres, ran into him at Special Edition Comic-Con over the last weekend. And this whole pile here is just con swag. And I picked up this nifty art book too right there and a couple of prints. So there will be a Pete's Basement Extras on that. We have no time to do it in the regular show.
No time.
So guys, make sure you drop the audio show onto your desktop and listen to that for all the rest of the books. Hit us up, questions@petesbasement.com. And before you do go, if you guys are at all interested in Zenith Press's Normandy book, Bombing Nazi Germany, there's also the Battle of the Bulges coming out, the Red Baron, Grant versus Lee, the Battle of Gettysburg. They have all sorts of awesome books. Our good friend Nicole over at Zenith Press has given us a discount code to pass on to you guys. So for the rest of the year, you've got 6 months. Go on zenithpress.com, place your order, and when it gives you the coupon code, type in all caps Pete 2014, and you will get 40% off your entire purchase.
Nice.
Fuck yeah,
You can't really beat that with a stick.
No, you can't. You really, that's awesome. Thank you, Zenith Press.
Teachers, educators of any sort, historians, or people just looking for an awesome read and to learn you some shit. Damn, get a notebook when you read this stuff. Yeah. Seriously. Pete 2014, go on Zenith Press and buy like everything. I mean, honestly, they're all awesome books. I'm only through 3 of them so far. I read this one. I read Bombing Nazi Germany. I'm halfway through Gettysburg, and of course I read the Red Baron because... Yes,
Red Baron. Yeah.
Let's be realistic here. Guys, we'll see you next week. Have fun, happy reading, happy collecting, and all that stuff. Like when I told that guy to get fucking cancer, and that woman looked at me so appalled.